some more calculation training. It's a Wednesday today, so basically today is review day with my calculation exercises and my coach. But yeah, I've been quite busy and also, procrastinating a lot, and I haven't done these exercises. And yeah, if I want to stick to schedule, I basically need to get them done. And I felt like, these training streams are about my training, and this definitely counts as training. So I'll count it in my 53 minutes for the day. So I've got a timer here that says 53 minutes. I'm going to start this. And yeah, I'm going to set up each exercise. I've got 3 of them to solve. And probably I will check chat every 15 minutes if I aim for each position to be solved in 15 minutes. So okay, let's get the first one. Yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, and I was hoping I could get a normal stream going today, but yeah, I spent way too much time on chess Twitter today. And I've also been writing and annotating model games for my course, because that's basically the last thing that still needs doing. So I've been going at that, and I've been trying to take care of myself as well, eat responsibly, exercise responsibly, these kind of annoying things. So that's my excuses for not having time to do these exercises and give you guys a normal stream. But yeah, I mean, this kind of calculation training is probably the best thing I can do for my chest. So if I can even find the right pieces. So yeah, I remember last in-person stream, I did a lot of, showing you guys the position. But yeah, I want to make sure that I'm really focused and trying to solve these as best as I can. I'm getting the feeling this might be a black to play. This is a white to play. How interesting. Okay. I mean, it looks like black is about to kill me. So it says literally a queen. Yeah. My coach is being very mean, giving me all these difficult attacking positions, which he knows I suck at. Okay, I'm glad there's low-key glad there's no one in chat, so I can just get on with these exercises. But no, if you guys join, of course I'm very happy to have you guys here, and feel free to try the exercises yourself. So this is the first exercise. You're welcome to set this up at home and try and solve it alongside me. So it's white's turn to play. And it's not necessarily white to play and win. Oh, crap, there's a knight on e4. Let's not miss that. Okay, I think I've got the position. So yeah, white to play. And find the right move. Okay, so it's 50 minutes, so I need to solve this by 35. Okay. So I'll speak out loud my thoughts. So first of all, we need to evaluate what's going on. So a quick material count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bishop, bishop, knight, bishop, rook, rook, queen, queen. So we're dealing with a bishop pair, although probably, it's, bishop pair doesn't mean anything here. I mean, both their bishops are being attacked at first glance. So, okay, what else is there to remark on? For king's safety, our king is currently on the line of our queen and the line of our bishop, in a way. The enemy bishop, the light squared bishop, the rook, even the f rook is on the line of our king, whose pawns are looking menacing. Yeah, my king doesn't look so good. What about their king? Their king is also on an open diagonal. We've got ideas of bishop c4 or queen c4 check. Yeah. And one more quick thing for chat. If anyone saw the position just now, because I saw there are a few people watching, if you can just send the FEN If you do set it up and try and solve it, if you can send the FEN on chat, that would be. You know what? Actually, screw it. I'll send the FEN to you guys. That's that's the least I can do. I'll send the FEN to you guys to try and solve. I'll do this real quick. Because I want this to at least be somewhat useful to you guys as well. If it's just me thinking, so I'll send the FEN on chat and then. Okay, let's send it here. Okay, so you can, if you're really dedicated, you can copy paste that or just type it out. Okay, so yeah, basically his king was a little bit weak. We've got bishop c4 or queen c4. What else to understand? So pawn structure wise, you know, we've got the c5 pawn attacking the bishop. We do have a queenside majority, although our a pawn, you know, is on its start square. Black is a kingside majority, although not so relevant. Got this outside pawn as well. Yeah, the E and F pawns look very promising. And what can we note about the pieces? Okay, so our knight is hanging. Potentially our G pawn is getting a lot of pressure. The bishop's attacking our C pawn. And for us, we're attacking their bishop on B6. We're pressuring their bishop on H3, but not threatening it since our king is pinned. I should also note that the queen is pressuring our rook on G1. So, okay, lots of tension. And what checks do they have? They've got like queen G1, queen G2, queen G3, rook G2. Okay, so they've got several checks as well. Right. So, okay, what candidate moves? Well, what's our plan in this position? That's from that evaluation. So, given that material is equal, I would probably want to come out of this with not getting mated and also ideally winning some material as well. If I'm being very optimistic, I mean, I might have to change that goal to just, you know, surviving. But I think I've got some chances here as well. So maybe I can even try win some material. So, okay, candidate moves for potentially winning some material. I mean, can their queen get trapped? Maybe that's a candidate idea. So maybe like rook h1 could be a move. We must always look at our checks as well. So queen c4 check, bishop c4 check. What about our captures? So we've got c takes b6 as a capture. So yeah, we've got rook h1, bishop c4, queen c4, c takes b6. Our knight is also attacked. Now, if we move it, we have to be careful of queen g3 check, but I mean, I guess we should consider moving it. But also, I almost feel like we don't have time to move it, because as soon as we move it, I mean, our c pawn becomes unguarded. The g3 square becomes unguarded. So, I mean, I think knight moves probably should come as like a last resort. Really doesn't feel right. So, okay, let's... I mean, the checks is not like there's like an immediate continuation there. The checks would be relevant if it's like a useful in-between move. Like bishop c4 check looks like it might be really useful in combination with rook h1, even though, okay, that probably blunders some capture on g2. So, yeah, so I think let's start with c takes b6. I feel like this makes most sense to calculate first. Because, okay, if we can take this bishop and we're just better, then that's a really good sign, right? So if c takes b6, what moves can black play? Now, if they take on g2, I do have enough defenders on that pawn, so it's not like the end of the world. I feel like the main candidate move after c takes b6 is f takes e4. What on earth is happening there? I mean, my coach said that these would be attacking puzzles. I mean, this is like a defensive puzzle, like even more torturous. C takes b6, f takes e4. What the hell is going on? I mean, in an ideal world, I'd want to capture some more material at this stage. So either queen takes e4 or b takes c7 would be my ideal candidates. I assume after c takes b6, f takes e4, b takes c7, I feel like I have to be busted after e takes f3. I mean, it looks so bad. I mean, I guess we could play like queen c4 check. And then if king h8, which is a big if, we could potentially promote to c8 equals queen. But the thing is, they even have a bishop controlling c8 at that point. So I don't really believe in that. So I think after cb6, fe4, queen e4 makes most sense. And if, big if, they play c takes b6 to regain their material, we have material quality, but they've got doubled b pawns. Also, they've got an isolated e pawn. And maybe, so long as queen g3 check isn't completely killing us, maybe we're fine. So that feels promising. cb6, fe4, queen e4. So what if after queen e4, they play a check? What if they play like queen g3 check? We could play king e2. I think it looks okay. Another flashy candidate move there after cb6, fe4, queen e4. Rook g4 is flashy since the pawn can't take it, but I mean, I don't think rook g4 helps with anything at all, so it's not so relevant. So yeah, I feel like cb6, fe4, queen e4 feels decent. So what about throwing in like bishop c4, and what about this rook h1 plan that I had? So rook h1 immediately. If they take the rook, then I can play bishop c4 check and pick up the queen, which looks pretty good. So if I go rook h1, is it really just that? Like, surely not. I mean, that seems way too good to be true. I mean, rook h1, maybe they can sack their rook, right? Rook h1, they can play rook takes g2. If I go bishop takes g2, queen takes g2, king e1, at the very least, they can play queen takes h1. And I've lost a bishop and a pawn there. And they'll be able to keep up checks, so I won't even have time for any counterattack. So rook h1, rook takes g2, check. If I play king e1, the problem is then they can just go queen takes h1, and the bishop is pinned to my king. So rook h1, rook g2, I'm forced to play bishop takes g2. But then queen takes g2, king e1 takes on h1. So rook h1 doesn't work due to rook takes g2. So what was my other idea? My other idea was to change the move order. So bishop c4 check. And if king h8, then rook h1 was my idea. Bishop c4 check, king h8, rook h1. But the problem is, yeah, I mean, they literally play rook takes g2 check, and We can't go to f1 because the bishop's on the line of our king, so any rook discovery will be winning. And if we go king e1, there's rook e2 check, mate, even. Yeah, so did I have any other moves in this position? Queen c4 check, did that make any difference? And I should also look at bishop c4 check with the idea of taking on b6. So if bishop c4 check, king h8, c takes b6. Here they can also play rook takes g2 check, which feels really bad to allow. I don't think that can be good for us. So I don't think that works. So what about queen c4 check, king h8, c takes b6? Is that an improved version? I mean, they go f takes e4, queen takes e4, and it's exactly the same position except that their king is on h8. So is that actually useful for us or not? Like, to me, I have literally no clue if that's useful. Like, I feel like on one hand, it could mean that there's some back rank ideas for us if the f rook ever moves. On the other hand, the king is no longer exposed to checks. But to be honest, given we have a rook on the d file and given that that f rook could be somewhat aggressive, probably I want that king on h8. So okay, if I go queen c4 check, they can also play rook f7, but I don't think that's any good. We even got rook d8 check there. Looks very strong. And now I'm thinking, oh, what if queen c4 check, king h8? Is there queen f7 as an idea? They don't have time to take our knight because we're attacking their rook. If they take our queen, we've got rook d8 leading to mate. So queen c4 check, king h8, queen f7. What does black play there? I mean, that looks scary. I mean, queen c4 check, king h8, queen f7. Rook f6 doesn't work because I just go knight takes f6. So how do we even deal with this? Queen c4 check, king h8, queen f7. If they move the rook somewhere, like rook a8, just to avoid back rank. I'm definitely getting good vibes from this. Queen c4, king h8, queen f7. If rook a8. I mean, here, once rook a8 has been played, then we even have the idea of c takes b6, f takes e4, and b takes c7, not with the threat of c8 equals queen, but with the threat of rook d8 check. And given that there's no more rook on the f file, you know, our king is like probably just about safe enough for one more move. So I really think this queen c4 check, king h8, queen f7 is what I'm finding most promising. And if rook a8, cb6. And then if fe4 to regain material, bc7, that just looks really strong. I think I'm happy with that. That's 35 minutes, so 15 minutes of thinking. Let's see what chat is saying. Welcome Milan to the stream. Hey, we got the same idea. I think queen c4 followed by queen f7. But you had ideas of queen takes g6. What is queen takes g6? There's a pawn on h7. Right? So queen c4 check, king h8, queen f7. I do not understand queen takes g6 at all. I mean, they just play h takes g6 and we've lost the queen. So maybe I'm missing something here. But yeah, no, my line is slightly different, but the starting moves are the same. But okay, good. I'll, you know what? I'll make a note on Lichess of my lines, and then I'll move on. Normally, I just send a voice note, but I will do this instead. Yeah, so this will take me a second to sort out. And of course, I'm not turning on the engine during this. I want to hear the full feedback from my coach. Okay. Yeah, I'll be like 2 minutes on this. Okay, so then I also had this rook h1 idea. Yeah, sorry this is incredibly boring for you guys. But yeah, I need to make notes of this. For this, and simply this. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's okay, cool. So I've got around half an hour left, which means for this next one I want to solve by the time the timer gets down to 15 minutes. And again, I'll send you guys the FEN on chat. And yeah, if you guys look up the answer for yourselves, feel free to do so, but please don't tell me what the answers are. I want to review my answers at a later point. So you're welcome to solve these alongside me. And I mean, I'm paying a coach to get these exercises, so you're getting them for free. So I hope you can appreciate that. Okay. Right. Okay, so let me just double check this is all correctly set up. Okay, let me send this on the chat as well. Okay, hopefully you got another message. Let me just double check that sent. Yeah, I think I sent another message on chat. So yeah, hopefully you guys got that. Yeah, so this one is white to play. And again, white to play and find a good move, I guess. Okay. Right, so again, like the last puzzle, I'll speak my thoughts out loud. So we got queen, queen, rook, 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 bishop, 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 knight. So we got bishop pair against bishop, knight. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm just double checking the position is set up right. Like, don't want to waste my time solving a wrong exercise. So okay, yeah, 6 pawns each. So in terms of king's safety, black has an open file on the b file. I'm castled queenside. Black's king is in the center, but yeah, they've got an amazing blockade on the white squares, but the dark squares, as a result, are very weak. They do have a rook on the 7th rank that can like help cover those squares in front of the king at least a little bit. Okay, in terms of pawn structure, one more thing I'll add is, yeah, my king's on a dark square. They don't have a dark square bishop. Their king's on a light square, and my light square bishop doesn't seem so. Doesn't seem like it can join the attack too easily without sacrificing itself. I mean, bishop takes f5, bishop takes f5, queen takes f5, pawn takes f5, rook g8 looks very promising. But yeah, let's keep going with the evaluation first. So are there any pieces, pawns that are hanging and stuff like this as well? Oh, and pawn structure. So what do we have here? We've got such a weird pawn structure. I don't even know what to make of it. I mean, black's got some nice pawn chains, mostly on light squares. Makes our dark square bishop stronger right now because, yeah, the dark squares are just weaker. Yeah, and in terms of the pieces, I feel like their knight is, a bit awkward on the edge of the board. Their king being in the center, and the fact that we've got bishop queen battery, we've got 2 rooks on a half open file. It does feel like there is decent chance for something here. So I do feel like there could be something. So okay, based on that evaluation, what would be my goal? My goal would be to try and create some kind of breakthrough, and maybe even go for mate. And if not mate, then I want to win some material at least. Like, I am really feeling ambitious about this position. So if that's the case, what to play? What moves to consider? So first of all, do I have any checks? I do not have any checks. Secondly, do I have any captures? Yes, I've got bishop takes f5, I've got rook takes h5, I've got rook g6, I've got rook f5. Those are all my captures. Now, do I have any moves that can weaken their defense or improve my attacks? So bishop d6 might improve my attacking chances. e4 might improve my attacking chances. Anything else worth considering? Queen a4, trying to enter via the c6 pawn could be one option. Very slow plan, but queen c3 with ideas of bishop d6 and queen h8 could be something as well. So okay, we've got like a gazillion candidate moves here. Again, for anyone joining the stream right now, I've sent the FEN on chat, but please don't use an engine or reveal the answer. I don't want to know. But you're welcome to give it a try and share your thoughts. So, okay, where to start with this calculation? So I think we should look at some of the most critical captures. I think that would be a good place. So I think rook takes h5 is a good one because, I mean, if black cannot take back, then we have won a knight, and winning a knight is pretty nice. So rook takes h5, pawn takes h5, let's assume. Then what can we follow up? So rook g8 check is one follow-up, which blunders the rook. Bishop takes f5 could be another follow-up. Rook g7, rook g5, don't believe in them too much. Yeah, so maybe I'll just look at rook h5, gh5, and bishop takes f5. Because the nice thing is, if they take bishop takes f5, then I can play rook g8 check. Although it's not 100% certain that it's winning, because even though I pick up the queen on d8, their bishop is actually attacking my queen. So that's a bit of a problem. Rook h5, gh5, bishop takes f5. If bishop takes f5, maybe queen takes f5, and we have huge amounts of attacking force against that open king. We've got a bishop, a queen, and a rook. But black does have the move. How would they try and help themselves defend? God knows. But honestly, that looks really promising. I mean, the way the bishop and queen cut off the king's escape, we've got that open g file for the rook. I mean, it looks super promising. But this is what I mean about attacking chess being absolutely horrible, because I don't have any kind of certainty that that's winning or not. And the problem is some players could trust their intuition there, and I can't. So rook h5, pawn h5, bishop f5. They don't have to take me, but if they do, queen takes f5. Can I trust my intuition that that is a winning position? And it really looks so incredibly winning. I mean, if the queen moves, I've got rook g8 and I pick up on a8, and I'll be a bishop up. King moving literally doesn't help. Nah, it has to be winning. It has to be winning. To play a move like rook f7, I could play rook g8 check. Nah, that's completely winning. Like king e7, bishop d6 check. Like queen takes d6, pawn takes d6 with check. I mean, that's completely winning. So rook h5, pawn h5, bishop takes f5. That means they can't take. That means they need to do something else. So what can they play there? Bishop f7, maybe? Rook h5, pawn h5, bishop f5, bishop f7? But we've got a knight and a pawn for the rook. We have both the pair of bishops. That king is completely wide open. I mean, if you held a gun to my head and said, like, which side would you prefer? It'd easily be white. I'd probably take it. But is it definitely winning? Rook h5, pawn h5, bishop f5, bishop f7. I think I'm going to have to leave it there and say that and evaluate as this line as extremely promising. I mean, I want to check out my other candidates as well before I spend too long on this, but this definitely could be my answer. So, okay, what other candidates we have? Bishop takes f5 was one as well, right? So bishop takes f5. If bishop takes f5, rook takes f5, and if pawn takes f5, queen takes f5. We actually reach the same resulting position in the other line. No, we don't. That's a complete lie. It's very slightly different. The difference being they still have a knight on h5 compared to the other line where they just had a pawn on h5. So, I mean, I would much fancy the position where they don't have a knight to potentially help them defend. Sure, like there can't be a scenario where this position. I mean, I guess like on rook takes h5 in the starting position, pawn h5, bishop takes f5. Black does have options here. They can play bishop f7. But when we play bishop takes f5 on the starting move, do they have options? I mean, in a way, they do, right? I mean, if they could play bishop f7 in that other line, then they can certainly play bishop f7 here. Right? Bishop takes f5, bishop f7. I mean, I can still play rook takes h5, but oh my god, my legs are legs are cramping up here. It doesn't feel like bishop takes f5 would make any sense why it would be better of a move order. I mean, rook takes h. Like I'm looking at rook takes g6 now, and that doesn't make as much sense. What about our other candidate moves like queen a4? Queen a4. They could play rook c8 to help defend. And does the queen gain anything being on a4 at that point? Probably not, because the queen's quite useful on c2 to help pressure in combination with the bishop. E4 as well is like a consideration. And I mean, to be honest, like, do we need to be so fast? I mean, I'm not really afraid of my opponent attacking me, but I'm more afraid of somehow my opponent consolidating. But how does my opponent consolidate? Do they even have a way to consolidate? I mean, I'll assume that black, hasn't lost castling rights and could play like queen d7, castles queenside, which would definitely improve their defensive chances. So maybe before queen d7 is played, we do need to play this. Rook takes h5, pawn h5, bishop takes f5. It has to be good. It just has to be good. There's no way that's not good. Yeah, like black can no longer unravel, right? They can no longer find a way to castle queenside. So I think it just has to be good. I mean, then we can literally follow up with like e4 ideas. So yeah, I didn't see anything stronger. So I think that's gonna be my answer. Rook takes h5. Let's see what chat says. Panda Chess says, hello, what's happening? Ilan says, I don't see the position. Well, that's not good. I thought I sent you guys for FEN. So if you didn't get the FEN on chat, well, then that's a bit of a bummer. And probably not much point me sending it to you now because I've basically finished solving this exercise. Basically, at the start of solving each exercise, I'd send the FEN on chat so that you guys can try follow along. But yeah, I'm solving calculation exercises, which are pretty tough. So yeah, I'm gonna write down my answer now. Okay, let me write some text as well. It's important. Right. Yeah, and sorry if this is quite a boring stream for you guys viewing. I just need to get this calculation work done by today. Okay, so here. I realized my lines that I was calculating aren't too deep. Yeah, it's either I write it all out like this or I send a voice note to my coach, which I think would be even more awkward to do on stream. So I'm just gonna stick to this. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it, I think. Um, okay, so then we've got one final position, and this time, like, I'll try and get some confirmation on chat that the um, the message really did send, because, like, I want you guys to be able to solve this alongside me as well and do this FEN. So let me send this. Okay, welcome Itachi and Panda if you're still there. I have sent a new FEN on chat. For some reason, it does look as if my other FEN did send. So I'm not sure why you guys couldn't see the position. But okay, if you want to also just take a screenshot of the screen, I can also show you this to help you think. So it's black to play here. So yeah, hopefully you got a screenshot of that. So yeah, let me set this up. So yeah, I'm trying to do these like three new calculation exercises each week to just force myself to put in this work. Otherwise, I would never do this voluntarily. But it's important if you want to improve at chess that you work on some things that aren't necessarily to your liking, unless you're absolutely blessed by the chess gods and you enjoy absolutely everything you do that would potentially improve your chess, but I think that's not so human. But in a way, I actually don't mind doing these exercises. I mean, like, I would never do it out of my free will, but it's also like, I think it almost feels like refreshing after doing it. Like, it feels like you've actually used your brain as opposed to just mind-numbingly going about each day. So yeah, calculation has to be good for the brain. I mean, I think this, like, honestly, like, this is how I stay, like, so skinny as well. It's like, I've actually been trying to go to the gym the last 2-3 days, and I've literally just been, like, doubling my calories. Like, I've been eating, like, 2 meals for lunch, 2 meals for dinner, breakfast as well. And I feel like, although I feel like I am putting on a bit of, like, definition, even though, okay, like, you literally can't see anything, I would say that, like, I don't feel like I'm getting much heavier. And I think it's just from all the chess, to be honest. So I think, if you want to lose weight, just, yeah, stress yourself out through difficult online games and train calculation, and I think you'll lose weight in no time. That's what I can recommend. Don't know why this became into a fitness channel or something. But yeah, okay, if you guys have taken the FEN or taken the screenshot, please don't reveal the actual answer. Please don't turn on the engine, but you're welcome to write your thoughts. And after I solve or attempt to solve this exercise, you are welcome to share your thoughts. So this is the third exercise. Just double checking everything is set up correctly. Okay, let's give this one last shot. I actually just need to stretch my legs for a second because I'm actually way too old to be crossing my legs like that. Oh my god. Is this like a sign that I'm really unfit, that I can't cross my legs? I think it's just like a lack of flexibility. I feel like I genuinely think humans should not be able to cross their legs. I feel like as a kid, you're able to. Not because you're flexible, but because in primary school you're forced to cross your legs and sit down on the floor all the time. But nah, I've got absolutely zero flexibility right now. I have a feeling like flexibility is supposed to be like something good for you, but I can't rationalize why. Like, if any of you yoga experts out there can shed some light on why flexibility might be good for the health, I would be all ears. But currently, it doesn't make any sense to me why it might actually be good. Also, welcome, Iron. If you scroll up on chat, you should see the FEN of the position that I am currently about to try and solve. And as I've said many times on the stream, please don't tell me what Stockfish says. I'm not interested. And yeah, you're welcome to give these exercises a shot and share your answers, which I will review after I attempt this myself. So, okay, I see I've only got 7 minutes left, so let me set this to 15 minutes and do a proper 15-minute think. And then, okay. Yeah, and then we'll review this. So, let me double check this is all correct. Don't want to be solving the wrong problem. Right, okay, so got equal number of pawns, different pawn structure though. We have 2 knights, 2 bishops, 2 rooks, a queen, 2 knights, 2 bishops, 2 rooks, a queen. Okay, so only 1 pawn, 2 pawns have been traded from the board. What can we say about king safety? I feel that my king, you know, there is this open h file. The knight is currently blocking on h4, but potentially that could move to like even f5 or something just to open the file. So our king is a little bit weak. I mean, the knight on d5 is also extremely scary, covering those f6 and e7 squares. So I don't feel too comfortable about our king at all. The one good news about our king safety is at least that bishop on d3 is locked out of the kingside attack by the pawn on e4. But potentially then maybe white can consider some move like f4 to try and enable their e-pawn to like someday move if we were to play like e takes f4, and also try and open up their rook. So definitely I feel nervous, like seriously nervous about this position for our king. How about white's king? I think white's king is looking a lot healthier. Like, yes, the c-pawn is being pushed forward, but our rooks, our queens, our pieces are not lined up against the king at all. So yeah, I think this their king looks a lot safer. So okay, kind of sucks for us. I don't even know how we could like potentially get at their king. I mean, maybe we could try some b5 move to just try and break open that side, or knight c5 or something. But again, this one feels like more of like a defensive puzzle. Like I feel like we need to shut down their possibilities. So, okay, pawn structure, anything worth noting? We have an isolated pawn, they do not. So potentially that could be a problem, although probably not relevant here given the potential onslaught on our king. So what is the goal in this position? To be honest, I'm not ambitious at all. Like, I don't even know what I should be considering in terms of like attacking ideas. I don't think it makes sense to try and attack here. I feel like if we play a move like b5, we are 100% going to lose. Like, they're going to hit us first, and they're going to hit us hard. So I think black to play and find a good way to consolidate our king side would be really amazing. If we could do that, I would be more than happy in this position. So I think that's going to be my goal. So what candidate moves help towards that goal? I mean, checks in this position, knight b3, knight e2, I mean, completely useless. Any captures that could potentially change the position in some way. Bishop takes c4, but doesn't make any sense at all. So, okay, no forcing moves then. Any threats? Well, yes, we do have knight f4 and knight g5 that do threaten the queen in one move. Maybe we could hit the knight on d5 with a move like c6. So those are like somewhat threatening moves. Are there any other threats? Maybe knight c5 is a threat on the bishop. But I mean, like, to attack that bishop doesn't make much sense given, that bishop's not involved in the attack. So I think before we can defend, we need to know what are we really up against. Like, what attacking moves do they have? Like, if it was their turn to play, what could they play? I mean, at this point, there's like so many more moves to consider for them. I mean, they've got knight f5, looks extremely scary. Bishop takes h6 on the starting move could be something, potentially. I mean, yeah, let's even look at bishop h6. Like bishop h6, bishop takes h6, and then knight f5. Oh, what am I talking about? Bishop takes h6, bishop takes h6 is check. So that's probably not a good idea for them. But knight f5 looks terrifying. Knight f5, if we take that knight and they go g takes, I feel like I'm 100% lost there. Now we are 100% lost after knight f5, g takes f5, g takes f5. No question. I do not believe for a single second that we can survive that. So, okay, I've got to trust my intuition there. So if knight f5 is like really the biggest threat in this position, what can we play to deal with it? So let's actually start by looking at our threats, because if our threats actually help deal with it, well, then that's nice, because then it's somewhat forcing. What? Yeah, so what moves did we have again? So we got knight f4, knight g5, c6. That was about it. Okay, so let's try some of these moves. So, okay, if we play c6, I mean, c6 doesn't, like, I want to come back to c6. So let's start with one of the knight moves. So if we play knight g5, do they have to play bishop takes g5, or can they move their queen and be content? If we go knight g5 and they go rook, queen h2, we could go knight f3. And that looks really promising to trade off a bunch of pieces. So knight g5, what about queen g2? Well, here we can also go knight f3. And I feel like if we trade one minor piece, already I'm feeling a lot more comfortable about white's attacking prospects, especially if we get rid of that knight or that bishop, their dark squared bishop. And again, yeah, knight g5, if queen g3 or queen e3, again, I think knight f3 looks really promising. So if we go knight g5 and they play bishop takes g5, well, the obvious response would need to be pawn takes g5. And we're attacking the knight. Now, they can't go back to f3, otherwise they lose it. And probably we're surviving there. Like, we just go queen takes f3, and if they try and go queen h7 check, we just go king f7. I think we're surviving. So, knight g5, bishop g5, hg5. That means they need to play, like, either knight takes g6, knight f5, or knight g2. So firstly, after knight g5, bishop takes g5, h takes g5, what if they go knight f5? They continue this plan to try and sack and attack us. The thing is, now we can take it. And I'm not as afraid. I mean, even queen h7 check, we just go king f8. And actually, the dark squared bishop is extremely effective at defending the king when there's no more dark squared bishop for the opponent. So I'd actually fancy my chances of defending that. So knight g5, bishop g5, pawn g5. I don't see that win. Knight g5, bishop g5, pawn g5, knight g2. What happens there? But again, I don't really mind if they even get in queen h7. I just play king f8, and I'm chilling. Okay, so knight g5 is promising. Let's see if any of our other candidate moves are even stronger. Let's imagine knight f4. If we go knight f4, knight f4 also looks good, to be honest. I mean, if knight takes f4, then pawn takes f4. And again, we're removing white's pieces. I mean, we even activate our own bishop. We even block the f pawn push. I mean, knight f4, knight takes f4, pawn takes f4 looks wonderful. If knight f4 and we go bishop takes f4, again, we go pawn takes f4, and I also feel like I've improved my position, like a lot. So knight f4, if they move the queen somewhere, well, they need to be careful where they move it, because we are threatening the bishop as well. So knight f4, they'd need to play either queen g3 or queen e3. If knight f4, queen g3... Oh, then we've even got knight e2 check, bishop e2, knight e2 check wins the queen. And if they have to play knight f4, queen e3, then they're really moving their queen out of the way. And I don't mind that. So maybe knight f4 is just a much nicer move. Looks good to me, to be honest. I think knight f4 like is beyond my wildest dreams in this position. I mean, my expectation, my goal was to like have a defense. I mean, knight f4 is like potentially turning the tables. I think I'm happy with that, to be honest. It's so simple, but it just seems so strong. Okay, knight f4. When they take on f4, I guess one thing I do need to consider is after pawn takes f4, they can push their e-pawn to activate their bishop. That's the one potential problem. So I don't know what... Let's imagine they keep their bishop. Because somehow trading off their bishop for the knight when I've got dark squared bishop doesn't feel right for their attacking prospects. So if I go knight f4, and they go knight takes f4, and I go pawn takes f4, and they push e5. Honestly, feels fine though. I mean, at the very least, just push g5. If they ever play knight f5, we can play knight takes f5. And somehow we're just somehow solid there. I feel like it's fine. I feel like it's fine. So knight f4, knight takes f4, pawn takes f4. What if they throw in g5 first? Got a whole move there. Can't believe it's like that strong. I guess though, after knight f4, pawn f4, g5, if we block with h5 and now they push e5, do we really have something there? I mean, at least maybe we could just play rook e6. That kind of defends g6. Doesn't feel horrendous. I mean, maybe they've got tactics there, like knight takes c7, queen takes c7, and queen takes e6. But then I'm realizing I've still got knight on d4, so actually the rook on e6 is very stable. I think I'm happy with knight f4, to be honest, guys. I think I'm happy with knight f4. Let me see what chat is saying. Oh. Okay, guys. So I don't understand the problem, but oh, are you not able to see my FENs that I send on chat? I mean, I don't understand because I've been sending FENs. Like you can see. Why is this doing this? Like I can literally show you guys. You see on the chat here? Like you see where it says Michael G and that like long line of text. If you copy that text and put it into an analysis board, you get the position. So I've been sending the FENs of the positions, so you should be able to view the puzzle like this. But okay, yeah, that was the final exercise. So that was a good 1 hour of calculation training. Yeah, sorry if that was very boring for any of you who was looking forward to a bit more entertainment. But no, I need to do these exercises, and yeah, I have a deadline to get these done by today. So yeah, this was my workout. But yeah, hope you still can appreciate my training and appreciate the grind that I'm on, and hopefully that can inspire you at least to try and get some of your own chess training done as well. So I think I'm going to call it a day there. I think knight f4 was my answer for this last one, if any of you followed along. And okay, hopefully Friday will be more of a normal stream again. Okay, see you guys.